this is Kyle from Track by Track, and I've got some slightly disappointing news to share with you today. The Foo Fighters decided not to save 2020. As you may know, this year marks the band's 25th anniversary, and they had plans to celebrate with a huge tour and a new album. Instead, COVID hit, and for the better part of the year, it looked like the closest thing we were going to get to new Foo Fighters was Dave Grohl engaging in a drum battle with a 10-year-old music prodigy. Cut to November 7th and the Foo Fighters' appearance on the much-hyped post-election episode of Saturday Night Live, hosted by Dave Chappelle. The band took to the SNL stage for what should have been the world premiere of their brand new song, Shame, Shame, but since the broadcast was delayed nearly an hour by a late-running football game, the SNL song premiere got scooped by the band's own social media. It appeared the intention had been for the song to be released online immediately following the performance, but it ended up dropping early, or perhaps more to the point, on time. Setting that minor timing snafu aside, though, I have to say that the timing of the accompanying album release is a little disappointing. Along with the new single, Medicine at Midnight was announced as the new album, which is surprisingly not scheduled for release until February 5th of 2021. Keep in mind, that's nearly 1 year after the album was actually completed. They wrapped up work on the album in February 2020 and had intended for that music to be the centerpiece of their 2020 summer tour. Knowing that the band has been sitting on a batch of brand new music all this troubled time is a little disappointing to hear. A new Foo Fighters album could have gone a long way toward redeeming an otherwise tragic year. But at least we get a song, right? Shame, Shame is the surprising first single from the upcoming new record, which Dave Grohl describes as being a party album. Not that Shame, Shame is quite something you would describe as a party song. Grohl himself owns up to that as well. He admits the track isn't necessarily indicative of the rest of the album, but rather was something very different than what people might expect from the band. So he wanted to get it out there first. And as a first single, I find it a little bit of a head-scratcher. From what Grohl has said, that seems intentional, so mission accomplished, Dave. But the reason I'm slightly perplexed by the track isn't necessarily that it is different from anything we've heard from Foo Fighters before. On the contrary, it feels largely in their wheelhouse from a song perspective. But in terms of performance, it feels artificially subdued, almost like it's an unplugged performance of a song that's usually much louder, much more aggressive, and yes, much more electric. The chorus begs to explode with the band's trademark wall of guitars sound, and it feels wrong, so to speak, that it never does. Shame, Shame would have been a terrific example of the Foo's often used quiet, loud formula. If Dave thinks they're being clever or original by bucking that formula and just giving us quiet, 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 well, okay. Still, I will say I love the drumming from Taylor Hawkins on this song. The funky rhythm he lays down is indeed unusual for a Foo Fighters record. And if that's in any way indicative of what is to come, I'm certainly intrigued. But on this particular track, it ends up feeling like some of the later-day Red Hot Chili Peppers music. It gives us hints of the more raw and fearless music of their youth, but then leaves us with vibes of, we're too old for that anymore. I don't believe for 1 minute that Dave Grohl is quote-unquote too old for that. 25 years in, I still have faith that the Foo Fighters have a lot of party left in them. Here's hoping the new album truly delivers on that promise. Because if the whole thing does sound like the first single, that would be a shame. Once again, my name's Kyle, and this has been Track by Track. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Plus, check out some of these other videos that I think you might also enjoy. And of course, be sure to click subscribe, because true music fans always want new releases the day they come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.